Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are back. We had a race today. It
We
was
did.
in
You and I.
Monza.
100-meter dash.
Who would win that?
Me.
Oh,
Are you calling me fat?
No.
I'm quick.
I'm just
I'm fleet of foot.
I would like to try this. Okay.
Okay,
New
that's our
challenge
next
week.
Yeah,
Next week.
100-meter dash
Okay.
happening for sure. You know
See how
what?
quickly we get derailed? We're like,
At your birthday, right before we go wherever we're going, on the
Yes.
streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
down.
No problem.
Anyways, sorry about that, everybody. But we are back. There was a race this week in Italy, second race of the season in Italy.
Yes.
This time Monza, and as far as we know, we only have Monza next year. I don't think we have Imola, if I remember correctly.
Do not believe we do.
Yeah. So, this is technically Ferrari's home race. Even though they have the Tifosi fans in Imola as well, but this Monza seems to be their home.
It's closer to the Ferrari home, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, before we jump into that, just want to remind you to follow us on social media at Fresh Set Podcast, and then wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube at Fresh Set Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, all the things. Yeah. So, Monza. We
Monza.
started off the weekend per usual with Ferrari, stress of a double DNF last week, coming into your home race. Practices, they looked pretty good. They had some pace.
There was one.
In the first, I think, free practice one, they were both in
There
top
was a red
three.
flag somewhere. FP2.
Somewhere.
Means nothing.
And then I think in FP2, there was one of them that was in the top three, but, showing some good pace. It is a good track for straight line speed. We know Ferrari has straight line speed, or they're supposed to have straight line speed. It was supposed to be a good race for them, and all things were looking okay. Charles won last year.
Can I make a complaint before we go into the race and just the
Sure.
review? Because this all happened before the race. They once again went to blue suits, blue crew wear, whatever. You expect some blue.
Yeah.
Expect something, a livery that has more blue, or goes back to what year was it? 1950 something, whatever it was. Was all blue. And the suits look, and I don't know why I got a little excited for something different. And they did do something different.
Yeah.
Which I get what they did. It was an homage to Niki Lauda's Ferrari with the two white stripes and the large white fin at the back, which they did. So they just extended the white fin a little bit and added two stripes. Had nothing blue. They actually toned down the HP blue.
Yeah. Let's just keep that.
Who at Ferrari's marketing is coming up with this?
Yeah.
And who is approving it? And fucking fire them all. Because they make absolutely no sense. There is no direction. What does this person's mood board or Pinterest or whatever the fuck they're doing this from look like? It's a jumbled pile of garbage. It makes no sense.
It's just really, it's kind of annoying when Ferrari's like, oh, we've got a special livery, we've got something, and it's like, okay, what are you really gonna change? One symbol on the car? Like, you're gonna change the shirts that they wear? But did you see Lewis's comment about wearing? So Lewis says he's always dreamed of driving in red. He's always dreamed of whatever. And then when he
Sure.
signed for Ferrari, he said one of the most exciting races he was looking forward to was being in red in a Ferrari at Monza. And he's like, and I'm in a blue shirt that they had for him. And
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't even get that. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of showing that disappointment as well. Like,
What's the thing? Like, it seems like they're only willing to change the suits.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
If that's what you're going to do. But then change them to match the car. You
Yeah.
morons. We've seen time and time again. The first thing that gets revealed when they have a livery is a special suit.
Yeah.
Japan, Red Bull, white suits. That's the first thing that was, McLaren when they have like they had the Senna car last year. They tease the suits first. Yeah. Even Steak has done it where they just change the suits a little bit before they do some paint splatter kind of thing. Yeah. Whatever. You change the suit, it's a forthcoming to what the livery is going to look like. And maybe Ferrari just wants to be different than everybody else. Fine. Maybe about the fashion, but make it make sense.
Yeah, and it just doesn't.
It doesn't.
They miss every single time.
At all.
The only time that it was just like on point was Monza 2023 with the yellow.
Yes.
It was Carlos Sainz last year. Yeah. Phenomenal. Bring back that guy. Yeah. Whoever did that.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
It's such an opportunity for marketing and whatever. You have the car that matches the suit. It all looks good. And people are going to buy whatever, T-shirts, hats, whatever it might be. Prints of all these things.
Yeah.
You put it like this and everybody just gets pissed off and they want nothing to do with it. Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't need a blue suit or blue shirt from Monza. I want a Miami special livery, blue suit, blue car there. We don't need it. We want
perfect
red, white, and green in Italy. Yeah. Give us that. But yeah,
that's
agree.
My rant. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it again. It was the same thing last year, and they did it again this year, and it was just like, you fools, absolute unhinged assholes.
And it's like they gaslight us into being like, oh, here we go, and they're like, no, it's a different
post
blue.
after post after post. All of a sudden they're in blue. Great, we're waiting all week, and it's like, no. And then they bring them out like they're the Pope and to 50,000 people, 500,000 probably.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my rant. That's my rant.
At the beginning
early
of the
on,
podcast.
get it off. Yeah. I could have gone for another half an hour.
So yeah, that was practice, and that was Thursday, and then practice on Friday, and then going into quali Q1. Q1 we have the eliminations of I'll do them from 16 to 20. Hadjar, who I'll come back to, Hadjar, Stroll, Colapinto, Gasly, and Lawson. Kind of shocked about Gasly here. He's been running pretty decently. So I was a little bit shocked, and I don't even really know what happened to him.
I don't
put him there.
No, he just wasn't running well all weekend.
Yeah.
On a weekend where he recently just re-signed till 2028, was it?
Yeah.
But the big shock for me is that both RBs are out in Q1.
Yeah.
I can see one, you have a bad run, but they're both out. I mean, Leon only had 5 laps, and Hadjar only had 6.
So I said we would come back to Hadjar. Hadjar during qualifying was complaining about Carlos.
That's right.
Extremely, Carlos kind of impeding him and not letting him get past, and which fair argument, but if there was true impeding, there would have been a penalty.
Yeah, there was.
So it wasn't as maybe bad as he probably feels, and it's annoying to get around somebody and Carlos was on the wrong tires, or he thinks Carlos was on the wrong tires.
It feels more of, I didn't have a good run, I need to blame every other thing that's going on here. He just was not a happy camper.
He was not happy. And immediately before we were even all the qualifying was done. They had interviewed him, and he was fuming.
Yeah.
uh Carlos, and he was name dropping.
Oh yeah.
Carlos was in my way and I don't know what he was doing. And before that, we heard the radios of him going on. But then right at the end of his post-quali interview, he says, well, I would have been starting from the back anyways, or starting from P16 doesn't matter because I'm starting from the back. I'm starting from the pit lane because I'm taking a power unit. And then he said, even if I qualified first, I'd be starting from the back. So then why are you so mad?
Yeah.
Why are you so mad? And it's like, it just made me think.
Bring the car home safely.
Right. It just kind of made me think, okay, you got a podium and then you got a little too big for your britches there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think, like you said, you just had a bad day at the office.
He kind of went scorched earth and
yeah, bad day at the office.
You're a rookie. Just take your lumps.
Yeah, I mean, you, and I don't want to say he got lucky because he has been driving really well. But you
today wasn't your day.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Then going on to Q2, we have 11 to 15. Bierman, Hulkenberg, Sainz, Albon, Ocon. A kind of normal, the normal group that we see in that range, except for Albon.
Well, I think it's more so that we're thinking of what we think of it as the top cars.
True.
But to have Carlos and Albon just barely at the bottom there, or at the not even, they're at 13 and 14.
Yeah.
You think we usually see one that has a little bit of a better running. That's even if they're 11 or something, they're on the cusp of making that top 10 or at least having a better showing than they did.
Yeah. And just, I was a little bit shocked with Albon especially Albon being the one in 14th.
Yeah.
He's kind of consistently been the one ahead, even if it's just one position ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah. So on to Q3, Bortoleto quietly getting into Q3 again. He's kind of taken Kimi's spot, which I know Kimi did get into Q3 as well, but this quiet, just consistent, I would say the last 5 races or so, just really been consistent.
The way I can kind of, in my peon brain mind, can kind of see it is where we're, what we always thought from the beginning is, can Kimi tame a car with so much power like the Mercedes? And he has, and he did. He's had his hiccups here and there, but for the most part, he has taken a car with a lot of power and shown what he can do with it and putting it into a spot where we think it should be.
Yeah.
Basically. And we're looking at Bortoleto, and he is pulling every little bit
doing the opposite
out of this cardboard on wheels. Yeah. And he's not taming a beast. He is
awakening
forcing the beast. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. He is awakening the beast in this car, and he's finding lines. He's racing really well. He is late braking. He is pulling every 10th and 100th of a second out of a lap that nobody really thought a Sauber was capable of doing.
And a rookie in a Sauber as well.
I don't think that it's... I can see Audi doing whatever they can to sign him next year. But I can see a lot of other teams trying to sign him as their second driver for next year.
Yeah, I can see that. And I see... During this race, I was like, Antonelli, which is not really a spoiler, but I was like, is he really... Because they brought it up during the race. They kind of brought up his contract, and he's racing for his 2026 seat. And I felt bad for him, and I'm like, we've seen Toto be ruthless, but I don't think has anything to worry about. I think
Kimi is stable in that spot.
I think
Kimi is their driver.
The beginning of the season, we saw him racing really, really well. He was consistently finishing in that fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh area. Um, he was not backing down from fighting a Lewis, a Max, a Charles at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not fighting those guys as much anymore. The car has fallen off. He's had some car issues. He's had some mistakes, but I think he's fine. I'm not worried about him not being in Formula One. We could be very wrong, but
I'm starting to come around to the idea in my head that Max is going to do whatever he can to try to get Bortoleto in that second seat next year. We already know they have a friendship.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of admiration between both of them. Right? We know that Yuki's not going to be there. I don't think that Hadjar actually wants to be in that Red Bull. I think it's a bittersweet kind of thing. He does and he doesn't. Like, he's having success there. I think, and if I'm Marco or somebody else, I might want to go to a Bortoleto than I do a Hadjar. I already have Hadjar. I can bring him up. If Bortoleto doesn't work out, know, why not stack the deck?
Keep somebody there and then, have Max spend the off-season training Bortoleto.
I'm starting to think that's not that it's going to happen, but that is a route that they're looking at very closely.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we are today. But yeah, we have a Max Verstappen pole, which I don't think we have had one out of nowhere. We haven't had one in a while.
We haven't had one in a while. Yes.
Yeah, we have one. We've had one, yes, but not in a while. But yeah, kind of pulled some numbers and some times out of nowhere.
Yep.
And the McLarens looked, this is going to sound weird, but the McLarens looked slow. Yes, they qualified 2 and 3, but when you saw the Max's car, even when you saw the Ferraris running, they just looked faster. The times weren't faster, but
I thought Piastri looked a little slower. Yeah. I didn't think I thought Max looked faster than Piastri, but slower than Lando.
Norris, yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Obviously I was wrong. But yeah,
I think it's also depends when they're on track. When you see them moving along,
I don't know if you noticed on Instagram or wherever social media the ghost car comparison between Lando's lap
trips me out every time.
I love it. Max is never slower. I was expecting through the whole lap that at some sector Max comes back and then he pulls something away because he just takes a better line or late braking or whatever. He gets out there and he is consistently ahead, which I didn't think was going to happen. When I'm looking at the live timings, it looks to me like Lando's got it. There's no way Max is going to pull us off come the last corner. And he does. He pulls it 7/100ths of a second faster.
Crazy. Just crazy time. I think the top 5 was something like 500
they were 8/100ths. No. 7/100ths of a second. Roughly about just over 7/100ths of a second. 7/10. Excuse me.
So super close in timings.
Yeah.
But we have Max, Lando, Oscar, Charles. Hamilton technically qualified in 5th, but he had a 5 grid place penalty from last race that carried over. So he was going to be starting in 10th, and then Russell, George, Kimi, Gabriel Bortoleto, Fernando in 9th, and then Yuki in 10th, which is good for Yuki.
And that's the one thing about we talk about as a Hadjar. He missed qualifying the next round by 1/10 of a second, which seems like a lot. But there was only 5/10ths between first and a Hadjar at that point. So it's a tight field.
Yeah, it's a fast track. And then it's a track for straight line speed.
Yeah.
You just have to have that type of car. So moving on to the race, 53 laps. We go out in beautiful day in Italy. So no rain in the forecast.
When isn't it?
Yeah. honestly. And they go out for the formation lap, and really, as they're about to come around to start, I mean, I'm sure Max at this point is probably at his grid spot, and we hear the radio for Nico, who was starting in 12th, that he is being told to box the car to retire. And he's even like, what? Why? Which we later, they had a hydraulic issue, is what Nico advised after. So then he comes into the pits. We did have some people that were starting from the pit lane, so they kind of peeled into the pits as well. And it's a nice start for everybody. Max kind of pushes Lando. Well, actually,
I don't think he pushes Lando.
Yeah, I was gonna correct myself because Crofty and Brundle corrected themselves as well, and they said,
thankfully,
he didn't.
British bias,
yeah, they didn't. Max didn't actually. Max came over, which he's allowed to do, to cover off. But the track goes from 3 car lengths wide to 2. So the track goes away.
Well, there's the pit lane exit, and then you got to get over.
So he didn't push him, but it wasn't even that one. It's the next corner 2 and 3.
Point, the grass, like Max is ahead. Lando's obligation is you either drive on the grass or you slow down and get behind. And he just chose to drive on the grass and call it Max push me, which.
Yeah. But as they go around the corner, which this is an extremely tight corner, which seems.
It's a chicane,
it's a chicane. Which is insane that's how you start a race right into a chicane. But Max cuts that corner because he knows he's not going to be able to make the turn.
Yeah, he takes that corner with a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And then still leaves Lando, but then Lando pushes him that way.
Yeah.
And he's got nowhere else to go. He can either crash and try and save some space, or he goes straight through.
Yeah, straight through the corner, which keeps him in the lead, which you're not allowed to leave the track. Leave the track and gain a position. It's very quickly noted, and to the stewards, and very quickly we see GP on the radio saying, hey, give back the position. It wasn't even like a, hey, Max, it was just give back the position, which I think does. Max knew it too.
Yeah, there was no rebuttal.
No.
Yeah.
And Max does, and he does it in probably 3 or 4 corners. And he does it in a spot which benefits him. And we know Max does this.
Yeah.
He does a race restart where it benefits him. He does these changes. It's smart. Every driver should really do it.
He's got a couple corners. He's got like a sector or 2 to get it out. Or get it done before there's going to be a penalty imposed.
Yeah.
Before he's gone too far. And then it's just like, well, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. So he knows.
Yeah. So he slows down, I guess. Yep. Lando takes it over, but he is immediately back on the throttle.
Yeah.
And already pressuring Lando from the minute Lando is just, half a car length ahead of him. Yeah. He's already starting again. Charles and Oscar, crazy fighting in 3 and 4. I was shocked that both of them.
Charles was driving like he was a kamikaze pilot in World War II. It was all or nothing. He felt the pressure of not being in a blue car, and the Tifosi just being angry.
He was. And I mean, we've seen this, 2 races in a row now, that he is just being aggressive.
For a guy who was so aggressive, we heard no radios from him today.
Yeah.
He was like a man on a mission.
Yeah. And he was trying.
Yeah.
So they were pretty scrappy for a little bit. And then, like we said, Max really didn't let Lando get away. And by lap 4, Max has the lead again.
He got it back. Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't disappear the same way the Ferraris or the McLarens have, and he doesn't disappear like how he used to, but he
Not this.
creates a
Yeah,
good enough buffer
I'd say
between.
about 2/10 a lap. And
Yeah,
so
and it just kept going.
by lap before I had to pause it, lap 12, he was already 2.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah,
Something like that, probably two, just almost three
yeah,
seconds ahead. Just consistently
yeah,
gaining speed, gaining a gap.
yeah. And then
One thing we didn't know. By lap 2, Lewis has made it from 10th to 6th at that point,
that's
or
what I was just about
7th.
to say
Oh,
too.
sorry,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. It was like
Thought you were just going right by him.
no,
No.
very quickly, Lewis was moving up and kind of quietly. Like we didn't see a lot of footage of it happening. It was just all of a
Quick.
sudden he was just there.
The only time I saw it was he was in the background while they were watching the top 4, and you
Yeah,
just see him kind of swerve out and in,
yeah,
and he's gained a position, and you
yeah,
just see his little name just kind of
yeah.
ticking up.
I remember just like looking and I'm like, didn't he start in 10th? Like, how is he here already? And then they did the graphic of like positions gained and lost. And I was like, holy shit. Like, how are
Yeah,
you, four spots already? But, and then kind of from, like you said, that lap 12, we didn't have a lot. Everything kind of just settled. And that
yeah,
usually happens. There's a point where everything settles.
sure. Gaps
Um,
grow.
yeah.
Everybody kind of settles into their speed of their car, and
People using their batteries,
yeah, yeah,
recharging. Yeah. So there is these gaps forming. People are pitting that have had an issue, coming together, whatever. But lap 25, Alonso goes a little bit wide that he kind of goes over those rumble strips. And as soon as he gets back onto the track, you see just one side of the car is just not right.
yeah.
Initially, it was thought that he had a puncture, and then when he gets he's bringing the car back to the pits. You hear his radio saying, "I've got it. I'm done. Suspension failure." So when he went over those, which is always dangerous for these guys to be going
Yeah.
because you could ruin the
And
bottom of your car at
Monza
any point.
has pretty aggressive ones. It
Yeah.
wants you to stay on that tight track.
Yeah. So he retired his car at that point. And then again, we go into this like not that was just a notable thing, but it really nothing was kind of happening. Lap 38, the McLarens are kind of talking about you hear the McLaren radio of like what they want to do. Do we want to go
Yeah.
to the end? Do we want to just do softs? Do you want to go on to hards? What's your plan? Do this plus 15.
It
Whatever.
quickly becomes less of a racing strategy, more of a pit stop strategy, because we
Yeah.
see some people come in. Who's coming in? Are we going to come in at the last second? We had 3 people, I think, by the time everybody had a pit stop done, we had 3, and I can't remember exactly which 3 it was, go another 10 laps
Yeah.
without a pit stop. So they were trying to
Yeah.
push those tires as far as possible. And it
Yeah.
really became a pit stop strategy.
Yeah. And the McLarens kind of decided for both of them that they would go as long as they can on their tires and then pit for softs with maybe 10 laps because those are going to be the fastest or what they think are going to be the faster tires. But Lando, who is in second, makes the comment of let's just do the opposite of what Max does. Max has to come in. He hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
And then Max pits for hards. So now we're going Max on, the opposite tire of the complete opposite. Not like he was on mediums, but they want to go for softs, which is going to be the fastest. And then Max is going for the hards, which take a couple of laps to warm up. But he does it at lap 38. And again, we've got 53 laps. Then I had Sainz and Bierman. He comes in, does his pit stop, no problem. I think he comes back in third, I think is when Max came out in third.
Yes.
But, that's just the delta because the 2 McLaren still have to go in for their pits anyways. And then Sainz and Bierman have a kind of bad, or look like it could have been bad coming together. They both spin. You can see a little bit of debris, but the debris lands in like a runoff area, which is
Yeah.
perfect. And then they both keep going. They both flip the car around and keep going. Um, we end up finding out it was Bierman at
There was
fault.
yeah. Well, pretty
Uh,
obviously at fault. I mean,
yeah,
Carlos went for the overtake. He got the overtake done. He was ahead going the apex. It was. I could see Behrman's point. Behrman said he left me no room to get there. Like, but he has the apex. That's his
yeah,
corner. He's allowed to make that move. You have to back out, and he
yeah,
didn't. I
yeah,
mean, unfortunately, but
yeah. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you caught this. I think it was Martin Brundle actually said to him, because they both made mistakes, because
yeah,
Carlos did also turn in. Brundle says, I kind of chalked this up to a racing
racing
incident.
incident. Yeah, and I would have. I agree with him. I agree with
Yeah.
him. Like you
I
can
thought
make that
10 seconds
corner. There was
was
yeah,
harsh.
yeah.
Yeah.
He that's his corner, but it was also an aggressive turn in because he broke really late there.
Yeah.
But he was ahead from quite a ways back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You could argue all day
you
for
gotta
either side.
yeah.
Um,
I think the stewards were just scared because if
yeah.
they had given Carlos another penalty for this,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have waited or asked for permission to see it.
Nope. You would
He
just
would have broken the
walked.
door down Jack Nicholson style in The Shining with an
Yeah.
axe through the door.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of felt for Carlos second weekend in a row with some sort of situation. Um, Last weekend, it wasn't totally his fault, wasn't, but he got the penalty last weekend.
I put him to blame for that one. I think it was
More
the
at
same
fault.
sort of situation.
Yeah.
Because Lawson was ahead there, and he decided to make
Turn in.
turn and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think it's the same situation, different sides of the coin.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Um, Lap 47, or kind of in this 46, it goes on for a couple of laps, but we hear the McLaren's radio. They're kind of talking, okay, we're going to bring you both in. You guys are both getting softs. Right, this is reading between the lines. Obviously, they weren't just outright saying this.
Yeah.
And an agreement is kind of, you hear Lando kind of just making sure. Let's just make sure we've got the plan before you bring us in. If I let you pit Oscar first, that helps Oscar back up or fight Charles, who's in fourth. Back him up, make sure, leave space for me, kind of thing. And he's like, I just don't want to do this, and then I get undercut. The team comes back on the radio, says, absolutely correct. It's not an undercut. If we bring him in first, he's there for backup for you, backup Charles. Lando says, cool, no problem.
So before you go on with this,
oh, okay.
Oscar comes in at 46. Lando comes in at 47.
Yeah.
There's about a 3-second gap between the two of them right now.
Yes.
At the most, maybe a 3
Yeah.
second gap. Oscar's pit stop is 23.602. Now you can go on with your story. And I'll tell you what Lando's pit stop is.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the other rant of mine for the day. But
so 23, what did you say?
23.602. So about 23 and a half.
Yeah.
Although
which includes, the time of coming into the pit lane,
the
braking.
second you hit pit lane entrance to whatever.
Exit. I think his actual pit stop was 1.9.
It was a 1.9. Yes, because
it was one fantastic pit stop.
Great.
And so they bring him on 46. Lando comes in on 47. Again, following rules. This is what we said.
46, yeah.
46, sorry. Following the rules, the agreement that was just made.
Yep.
So Lando comes in for his quick, wishful quick.
Even if it's a 2.4, 2.5, great. It's a great pit stop.
Yeah. Lando's pit stop is
27.498. Almost a full 4 seconds more.
Yeah. And not Lando's fault. The
No.
wheel gun didn't tighten properly, I think it was.
Yes, they're either that or he didn't have it on the nut properly, and then he pulls out the wheel gun and it's flashing red and green, which means it didn't tighten properly. So he's sitting there just proud of himself. Why isn't he going? And his buddy has to tap him and say, "You got to do it again. You got to do it again." It was a full 3 seconds.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 2 seconds, because Oscar's was 1.9. Lando's was 3.9.
Yeah.
3.9 seconds.
It looked like he was sitting there for 2 minutes.
Ever.
Like,
and enough that they said that he can go in there for a pit stop, and they can all say, "Wait, what's going on? What's happening?"
Yeah.
And then he starts to go.
It was worst case scenario, and like I can't imagine how that felt for Lando, because I mean, even us watching it, I was like, why is he not moving? Why is he not moving?
I'm firing that guy.
Yeah.
I just get him out of here.
So Lando eventually comes back out. Charles doesn't pass him. They're far enough ahead of that, but
Charles doesn't.
It's close.
But he comes out of that pit lane, and as he's reaching the pit exit, which finishes as 27 point whatever, we see Piastri coming down the main straight and getting comfortably ahead of his teammate.
Yeah.
Coming out enough that I think when they get through that first timing zone, he is already 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which was not the plan.
No.
He should have come out where he was supposed to be.
Yes. Which is also strange, because usually the person who's in front gets priority over that first pit stop. So why they chose Oscar first? I know they were trying to cover up Charles.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it was a group decision.
They have to stop with these fucking group decisions. You have a team principal, make a call. Consult with your strategist and make your call. This is your call. It is not a group decision, because and that's the other problem I have with this. It's probably have a lot.
And you are a McLaren fan.
I am, and I am a fan of Lando and Zach and Oscar.
Yeah.
You don't ask your driver. Well, okay, you can. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're walking on eggshells, and it's like, what do you think about now? Calm down.
Hear me out.
Calm down, Lando. Yep. Listen,
Hear me out.
Let me finish it all first before I go. I will give you a yogurt drink after. But what do you think if maybe possibly we did this?
Yeah.
Stop sounding so fucking afraid of your drivers.
Yeah.
Ask the question. This is what we want. What do you think? Great. Yes or no. Done.
Yeah. And then they go over and they do the same thing to Oscar. And it's like, okay, well, Oscar said he'll do this. And so you like, oh, guys, we're wasting laps having these conversations.
Yeah. Hey, guys, looking at the data, this is what we want to do. Yes or no?
Yeah.
All done.
Think you can do it?
All done.
Cool.
How have you felt on the mediums? How have you felt on the hards? How have you felt on the softs? Great. This is what we're going to go with.
Yeah. So very quickly after, Lando comes out now in third, and the whole thing was that there was no undercut and we were keeping your position.
There was no undercut is the
there was
most
no undercut.
significant thing.
Yeah. So we quickly start hearing both radios. Like, hey, is he gonna give this back? Even Crofty and Brundle are kind of like, this is going back to Hungary. It's only fair. It's only fair. They've got to give it back. They asked Land, and it's like, here we go. What's gonna happen? So Lando's like, it's only fair. I've got to get the position. You said it wasn't an undercut. It wasn't an undercut.
It wasn't an undercut.
It's not Lando's, it's not Oscar's fault.
And we quickly get a glimpse in their discussions in the team room. So if anybody's ever watched F1 movie and you see that whole team discussion before a race happens and what's going to happen, what's their strategy and this and that and blah, 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 blah. We really get a glimpse into what they talk about. So now we know there's 34 points between them in this drivers' championship. What happens in certain situations? How do we make it fair? We don't want to have any adversarial situations, so let's settle all out in this room.
Yeah.
And they ask Oscar to give the position back to Norris. Not saying because we told him there was not going to be an undercut, because this was not an undercut. The team fucked up.
Yeah.
A person on the team fucked up. Does it suck for Lando? Absolutely. But Oscar quickly says, we talked about slow pit stops are part of the race.
Yeah.
It's not an undercut. It's not an underhanded situation. It is something that happens, and this is all fair game.
Yeah.
All these situations are fair game.
Yeah.
And he very calmly says, I will give the position back.
But we talked about this,
basically.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I know you got something to say. And
I was just going to say.
I want to yell and wake everybody else up in the house. But
he gives the position back.
Yeah.
And what's also so ironic with all of this is Oscar was asked this weekend on Thursday. He was asked about, you are fighting your teammate for the drivers' championship. And Oscar clearly said, I will always do what the team asks me to do.
Yeah.
I will need the team at some point. The team will need me. So I do want to stay in their good books. He said that flat out. Which is a bold statement to make publicly.
And I believe that this is something Oscar's not a stupid person.
No.
He knows he's up by 34 points. He knows they finished 2-3. That's a +3 to Lando. He's still up by 31. Mathematically, he's still in a great position. Yeah. Not if he ever has a DNF, because now then there's quite a bit of a swing, obviously, just like there was with Lando. But I think he knows in his back pocket that he has something here in the last 8 races where something happens that he's going to bring this back up.
Yeah.
I think he has a feeling that as cars start to break down or mistakes are made or whatever, that he's fatigue, whatever. He's got this in his back pocket is, hey, you remember Monza? You remember me being a teammate here?
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up and return the favor.
Yeah. But, and I can also see this coming down to I hate to say it. I could see it coming down to an Abu Dhabi. And Lando's in the lead of the race, but Oscar has the drivers, let's say. He's in the lead of drivers, and it's minute numbers that we're missing here.
Yeah.
I agree. I think...
Yeah, I think it's a tactical thing.
This is
Oscar.
Very tactical.
I think it's a tactical thing. I think
even having the conversation earlier in the week was tactical.
It is absolutely I think he understands the significance of it's only a 3-point swing here. So
yeah,
I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. But I mean, you went blur there for a second because I guess somebody called your cell phone. There you go.
I guess.
You know what? I'm not going to go into it anymore. I have more. I'll leave it for later. No, I'll leave it for later. I've got guess what my dirty air is going to be.
Okay, fair.
But
so that happens. Then we have, I just think it's funny. I mean, this is going on all the while, even before all of this starts to unfold. We have GP on the radio, very calm with Max, saying, you're doing amazing. He's pumping him up so well.
Oh my God, babe, you're so good.
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of sickening between the two of them. He's keep it down. And then Max is just talking about whatever. Yeah, car feels good. Everything's awesome. Brakes are good. This is fantastic. Good. And then, so GP, which is normal for GP, any race engineer does tell the driver what's happening behind because it could impact that person. Sure. So he does say, hey, Max, just letting you know. And he probably told him before. Max probably saw it on one of the cameras, one of the TVs. Yeah. The slow stop. He probably also saw that, it's now Piastri behind him and not Lando, who is now 18 seconds behind him. At that point, he wasn't. But
no.
He says, So GP gets on the radio and says, "Hey Max, just letting you know, McLaren switched. Uh, Lando is now back behind you."
Yeah.
And Max, being Max, says, "What? Because there was a slow stop?" Because they gave him a slow
Yeah.
stop, almost laughing at
Laughing, yeah,
McLaren.
basically.
And he's just
He's
like
all right.
flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And then so much so that I think GP kind of had to bring him back down to the world and be like, "Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but
That's
just
their
keep
team
your foot.
decision. Yeah,
Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep driving well." Um, and yeah, so he keeps driving well because, like I said, at this point they're 18 seconds
I did
behind
not
him.
realize, now that you said 18 seconds, and I looked at the timing, I did not realize that he finished 19 seconds ahead of Lando.
Yeah.
Granted,
So
there was a 4-second pit stop, but
right. Yeah.
even not, it was a 15-second pit stop.
And so much so that so much so that I think when he crossed the finish line, Crofty said something like, and he's finished so well that he finished in a different postcode to the McLarens behind him. But the McLarens, what they did actually say to Oscar was, "You let him pass, go race him again." So you just had to, all you had to do was let him pass. If you guys want to go and race again, keep it clean. Which, again, it's getting old.
We're going to get into it. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to personally call Zach. But
okay. So before we get into you getting into that, Max wins. Max wins Monza. He has won both Italian Grand Prix this year.
Yeah, and 3 of the last 4. And this one, the fastest ever at Monza and F1 race.
Yeah.
In history.
Yeah. Just flying.
Yeah.
Absolutely
this was
flying.
1 hour, 13 minutes? 1 hour, 13 minutes.
13
24
minutes,
seconds, and 3:25.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was like watching it at one point, I was like, "Oh, we're on lap 30,
it was quick.
Whatever." I was
quick.
like, "Oh, it's not even 10 o'clock yet."
Not a stop. The only yellow hazard we had were the 2 cars that spun. Behrman and Sainz, who quickly got restarted, so there was no safety. Not even really a slowdown. It was 3 seconds at the most. That was it.
Yeah. It was green. I kind of thought, oh, maybe the debris. I didn't think both cars were going to get going, but they did.
Watching laps 1 and 2, I don't know how somebody didn't come together. It's chicane into another chicane, and it's a narrow chicane.
Yeah.
I mean, it is tight there. That's what she said. And so I had to do it. I had to do when I told you when we were talking and we're texting, and I said it looks so tight. You replied with nothing, and I'm like, "Well,
I missed that.
It's unsatisfactory to me." I had to
so you have to say it again.
I had to get it out at some point. But yeah, it was the tightest gap I've ever seen. And we were lucky enough they were lucky enough that there was nothing. There was a couple cars that ran off, but nothing happened.
Yeah. And there was the worry about debris at one point because the gravel kept shooting up onto the track, but they were able to push it off the racing line.
And they just drove over it, and then they just stayed on that line. That's it.
Yeah. So, Max wins 1, 2, 3 for the McLarens. Charles in 4th, Russell 5th.
Russell, then Hamilton back up to 6th. Albon, Bortoletto finishing in 8th. 8th in the Sauber, ahead of Kimi Antonelli. And not by much, just like less than a second, but still.
Yeah.
A second and a half. Then Hadjar in 10th. He brought that car all the way back up from, where was he? 18th? Pit lane.
The pit lane.
All the way up to 10th. And then
so great ride. Your drive.
Everybody else behind him, who cares?
Yeah.
That was And then Lando closing that gap again by 3, so they're now 31 points ahead, a difference. Max has brought himself into 63 points behind Lando.
Yeah. So, and what, 99 behind? No.
Oh, or no, it's almost done. Yeah, it's 90 something. It's the
Yeah.
Oscar's at 324. My fast math sucks. So 94. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I could just do
Okay.
that quick subtraction. Um,
So, well, we can quickly go into the fresh set and dirty air because I know you're excited to
yeah,
do
I don't
that.
want
And
to.
we can
Yeah,
do some a
sure.
little bit of news.
We don't have to. It
Um,
depends how long this goes. We'll see.
yeah. Fresh
Fresh set.
set. Um, I'm gonna say Max winning only because I've said it a couple of times, and I said it to you before we um started this. Um, it creates this little bit of drama and doubt, and it
Hmm.
just again, is he gonna win the championship? Probably not,
Probably not.
but it just makes it a little bit more
But
interesting
he's
for
always there. He's
yes.
always behind you. I know what you mean.
He's
Yeah.
just there, and it's just like, and it wasn't McLaren's fault that Max got pole and that he won the race. Like I don't think they would have caught him even if they didn't have that little mess up, but um it's just these are the things that chip away at a lead.
Yeah.
And if you let these things consistently happen, and if McLaren can't keep their drivers in check, I'll say it. I mean, their drivers are in check, but if they can't get these little mistakes where
Sorted it
Oscar's
out.
having to say, "We talked about this," Oscar's eventually not going to say, "We talked about this."
Have
So
we
it's
have we shifted into your dirty air then?
no, this is not
Oh,
my
okay.
dirty air at all.
Okay.
It's just all the like Max winning, Hajar getting a podium and taking that away from them
Yeah.
last week. It's all these little things that are adding up that's just going to make it very interesting in the end.
Hmm.
So it's a Max win, but it's also about the drama that it's creating. So yeah, that's mine.
I I couldn't decide. Like, I got two ish. Laps 1 and 2 were probably my favorite bit of racing that I've seen
Yeah.
all year.
Yeah.
Was fantastic. It's everything you want from Formula One without the incident. It was just,
Yeah.
it was amazing. You were edge of your seat. My asshole was clenched. Like I was, it was amazing. It really
Yeah.
was something to watch, and it was peak racing. It's, especially being at Monza, the temple of speed.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see. But my real fresh set is going to be. I'm going to split it between four people.
Oh,
So it's
geez.
going to be
Okay.
Hadjar, and I know I've talked about it a lot lately, but it was Bortoleto, Albon, and Hamilton. Just great
Okay.
racing, quiet, clean, but quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hadjar making it from the pit lane is amazing. Bortoleto pulling, like being in the top 10 and continuing to stay there when every time we see it, we think he's just going to get blown by everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you feel like that car is just going to come back down to earth at some point, and he's doing whatever he can to do it. Albon coming from where he came, showing his consistent speed again. Race
Yeah.
pace is better than qualifying pace, like we've seen a lot of times. And then Hamilton, just he drove like he was on a mission today to gain back something, for Ferrari and for Italy. It was really great to see. I mean, they were a lot
Yeah.
further back from Max, but it
Yeah.
didn't matter. So was
Yeah.
everybody basically today.
Yeah.
But they really were impressive. And I don't want to give
Yeah.
it to George because George started there and finished there, and he's just quietly just gaining points.
Yeah.
And we never hear from him. So, but
No.
those four
No.
were really, to me, really fun to watch.
Yeah. I
Whenever
would
they
agree.
showed.
I would agree. And I even, like you said, Lewis making those, I think he did it so quickly that the camera couldn't even get to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, again, like you said, these quiet drives,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be loud and fancy. If you're
Nope.
getting the points, you're getting the positions, hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Dirty air. Funny you said Hajar. I didn't really have a dirty air for the race because again, we had those lulls, but I think overall it was a decent race. We had some little bit of drama. The first couple laps, like you said, were really good. And I mean, even not just
Was your
Lando and
butthole
Max
clenched too?
wasn't clenched. But Charles and Oscar fighting. There was
Yeah.
just a lot of fighting. And like you said, we thought someone was going to be off in those first two, um, but Hajar's kind of his attitude in qualifying just kind of put me off.
Yeah.
Especially coming from such a high.
He is French. I mean, it's
valid
in
point.
There somewhere.
Valid point. I rest my case.
Yeah.
That's all. Valid.
And anybody listening to this, we have both probably had interactions with French people that were not the most pleasant. Not Correct. To put that on the whole group of people. It's just a fun stereotype. Anyways,
yeah.
Is that it? You're just
I'm leaving it there.
Right. Okay, you're leaving it there. Okay.
Hajar's attitude.
We'll leave it with the French. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like
McLaren.
McLaren. It's McLaren.
Yeah.
It's how this went back to last year, and I want to gouge my eyes out. You can't say you have two number one drivers. You don't have a favorite driver when you consistently show that you do. It's Lando. Yeah. We know that you want Lando to be the face of your group. You want Lando to be I think you're holding on to Oscar as long as you can keep him because it's not going to last. Whether I think Oscar is the better racer or not, whatever.
Yeah.
You set out rules for your drivers. You don't alienate them in the race.
Yeah.
You stick to a rule, you figure it out, and then you explain it later on. Yeah. Now you're putting on baby gloves and you're putting a diaper on Lando and you're patting him on the back and you're leaving your middle child there just off in the distance to fend for themselves. It's not. You want to talk about fairness and everybody's got their whatever. Everybody's got a right to these championship points, and you set out all these rules and we have our papaya rules and all this other bullshit. Then stick to them.
Yeah. None of it is what they're doing is what's making it not fair.
100%.
Like you
went back to last year.
Yeah. And it's mind blowing that a year later, we're still having the exact same conversation.
Yeah. It looked good at the beginning of the year. And then all of a sudden we're back to it. Like, make up your fucking minds.
Yeah.
Are you going to favor one or are you going to actually be fair? You set a rule, do it.
Yeah. It goes, if I remember correctly, and I think this is why they're not doing it. If I remember correctly, Mark Webber I know this is correct. Mark Webber is Oscar's manager.
Yep.
Mark Webber famously drove for Red Bull, where he was supposed to be their second driver. He was like, this is bullshit. I'm going to drive how I want to drive. If you guys want the win or not, I'm just going to drive how I'm going to drive. There were rumors, allegedly, that when he helped Oscar put together the contract, it's his manager, it's his job, he has a clause in there that the team cannot call Oscar the number 2 driver. So I think, seeing all what they're doing, I think there is some truth to that they're dancing around this, like, oh, you're both number 1s. No, it's bullshit. It's not. But they just can't say it. Oscar's also in a position that if McLaren was like, we got to let you go, every team is willing to drop one of their drivers.
Absolutely.
To take Oscar. So McLaren has to be careful as well.
But they're not. That's
the issue. They're being careful in the most uncareful way.
I love the fact that Oscar called them out and said, this is not what we talked about.
Yeah.
We clearly laid it out that this is not in our papaya rules here. That a slow pit stop is part of racing.
Yeah.
And if you guys fuck up, don't make me pay for the fact that you guys fucked up.
Yeah. And he should do that. And I think more drivers should do that. You see Ferrari cover up a lot of that stuff. We'll talk about it after. It
happened today.
Yeah. But Oscar doesn't let them get away with it. And again, like you said, Oscar's very smart. I think everything Oscar does is intentional. And I think making that comment was intentional. He knew it was going to be, F1 media was going to be like, this is a good one. Put it on the
Yep.
screen.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I don't think he does anything unintentionally.
No.
So
No. And I was so happy when he did it.
yeah, yeah.
But
I think. I just hate that we're still having this conversation, and I think we're going to have this conversation till the
right
end
to the
of
end.
the year,
Yep. Yep.
unless something drastic falls off. Like, Oscar wins the next three, and Lando doesn't finish on the podium. Then it's settled.
I don't see that. I could see
I
it.
don't see
I
that
could see another
happening,
mechanical
but
failure for Oscar and making
yeah,
this a little more juicy. But
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, that's mine.
Your dirty air.
Fucking McLaren. All right, news. So not a lot. Just quickly, Monaco, extended till 2035.
Yeah.
So another boring race who knows? We don't know. Cars are getting smaller.
Cars are getting smaller, faster.
We'll see how it goes. But either way, they're another 10 years of Monaco, which is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say here? Colton Herta, the IndyCar driver, is signed on as a test driver for Cadillac, so he will no longer be racing IndyCar at least in 2026. I guess it's only a 1 year, whatever. He won't be an IndyCar in 2026. It was actually confirmed by IndyCar. He's going to be, like I said, a test driver for Cadillac. I don't know if it's confirmed that he will drive in F2. So a lot of this has to go with super license points, getting time in a Formula Series car, so he can try to make that transition into Formula One. So yeah,
Which I'm going to give you your kudos here, because you did say
Cadillac.
that you thought Cadillac was going to sign as a driver, and then you're like, well, I don't know if he's got the points. So you get points for this.
I know I do. Yeah. I do, because
like,
I think they like the idea. Like I'm assuming that they have. I would assume that Bottas has a 1 year deal with Cadillac. See how it goes.
Yeah.
See how it goes in 2026. Perez with sponsorships may have something a little bit more than that.
Like a 2 year, I think
it would be like a 2 or 3. It just makes sense. It brings money in, whatever.
Yeah.
I think they want that American name as a representation to their brand.
Yeah.
That just makes sense to me, as long as he has the capability to do it. We'll see.
Right.
But I think optically, it's what they want.
Yeah.
The other one, apparently, it's just a little rumor. Red Bull's majority stakeholder, whatever his name is, because I don't want to screw it up, reportedly wants Alex Albon back in the Red Bull second seat. I don't know that Albon wants to go back to Red Bull.
I don't. You know what? Now that Horner's not there, maybe.
Marco's still there.
True.
I mean, I would rather have Horner as a boss than Marco.
True.
Making decisions.
Agree.
My personal opinion. But anyways, that was just a little snippet. I don't know if he's actually going to come back. I don't know if anybody wants him back there. And I don't think he wants to come back. I think he's happy in Williams.
Yeah,
but
I think so. He's doing well there. So
yeah, I think he likes having James Vowles as team principal.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing is, and the last thing, Dominicali is reveals that F1 is looking at a bunch of different things to make the race and the race weekend more exciting, more engaging. So shorter races, reverse grids, and no free practices. So the shorter races we'll get into in a second. No free practices. I don't know what you feel. So I'm pretty sure they're pretty set in Thursday's media. Then we have 3 days of F1.
Yeah.
So let's stick with the 3 day, 2 different time slots per day. Or we're looking at a 2 to 3 hour time period each day, right? Roughly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you fill these free practices with? Do you do a sprint every weekend? Because he says people like the sprints.
A reverse grid sprint.
They say they like the sprints. What do you do? You can't have sprints every weekend. It's too much on the drivers. The drivers aren't going to want it. It's going to be too much racing, and it's going to take away from the actual Grand Prix, I think.
Yeah.
So what would you fill in the extra 4 to 6 hours?
But I also do think they need at least one practice session. Like they need
Sure. What do you do with a rookie that comes in the sport and you don't get a practice session?
they need to be able to
Just have them in the simulation?
yeah.
You can't do
Like
that.
they've got to
Because
drive.
we saw Jack Doohan do something great in a simulation this year, which worked perfectly, and then
And he tried
completely
it.
destroyed somebody in a practice. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. You know,
I mean, maybe they just do one practice session and it's a 2-hour practice session.
this has no
Maybe.
free practices.
Yeah,
So I don't know,
I don't-
understand where, like, I mean, we already have qualifying the day before. So what do you fill the rest of the time in with? Do you get
Don't know. Unless they switch Thursday to Friday.
I don't know. Like, do you have 2 days of qualifying where you can get points for each session? First of
Maybe.
all, I think that sounds ridiculous and too convoluted. But I think that would just, again, just water down the significance of everything you do, like the
Yeah.
race and
Yeah.
qualifying itself or whatever.
Yeah.
That to me that makes no sense. Reverse grids. I know they were thinking about it they were.
The
I don't know what it
sprints.
is for sprints and everything. What's the point of doing well if you're just going to start in the back? I get it's to even
Yeah.
the pack for cars that are made to be faster, but that is an engineering problem for the teams.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be up to F1 to say, "Hey, you've got too much of an advantage because you did too well in designing your car. So we're just going to put you at the back and hope for the best." So what's the
Yeah.
point of doing well in qualifying? Why not just sandbag qualifying?
Unless they take away the qualifying, like sprint qualifying, and they just use
But
like
how would you set that grid?
current standings. I don't know. The last standings of the race before. I have no
I
idea.
think that's
But it's going to get messy. What if you have somebody like a Lando that DNFs?
Yeah.
He was the last in this one.
and all he's starting to
so,
pull. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, it just, I don't know. It'll be
That
interesting.
makes no sense. And then the shorter races, he says because, the young people today, they're just too long. They're not as engaged. They're not finding it. All basically only people who want the long races are old fans. I mean, how do you have F1? How do you have new fans if you don't have old fans? I mean, I get Netflix brought a lot of it's what brought us there. But
Yeah. But if they're watching it now, they're somewhat okay with the length of the races.
now this one came after Zandvoort. Zandvoort was 72 laps, and it
72.
was a long one. Now, could you have chopped off 5, maybe 10? Probably. Now they have their standard of distance, right? Which goes into
Yeah.
all their mathematical calculations of fuel and all that other stuff. Great. And they all run the same amount of distance. It's just the the length of the track that determines how many
Yeah.
laps.
Yeah.
That would have made Monza probably something like 42 probably. Probably
Yeah.
would drop it down to like 42 if you want to like keep it within the hour, right?
But
Because I have here the average length of a race for different series. I had it here. There it is. MotoGP, the average length of the race is about 41 minutes. Formula E is 49 minutes. Formula 1 is an hour and 32. IndyCar is an hour 44. NASCAR is an hour, 3 hours and 14 minutes. That's way too long. It's longer than a baseball game.
yeah.
To watch them just go straight around in circles. But anyways, it's in the middle. It's an hour and a half average. Right? I
Average,
think
yeah.
the most you're going to have, you're about 115. Actually, today was the longest, or shortest, at an hour and 13
113.
minutes. Right? So you're about 115 to 145, depending on the track. I don't think that the issue is the length of, or shorter races. Like you have to make it within a certain time period. It's the tracks. Some
Yeah.
tracks are shorter. Monza is long. It takes you 1 minute and 13 minutes to get around it. It's only 52 laps, which means it is a long within kilometers. It is a long track, but it is fast.
Yeah.
So look at changing your tracks. Make them faster tracks.
Yeah.
Don't
That's what it is.
Don't be Monaco,
Yeah.
where you can't go full throttle.
Yeah.
You know,
You're only going into sixth gear.
Look at Albert Park and Vegas. They have
Yeah.
long straights where you can go flat out 330 kilometers an hour and just go.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not the 400 kilometers that we're going to see next year. But, you know, it's not the length, and it's not the length of it. Just don't look at timing. Look at the track.
Yeah.
Fix the track.
Yeah. Well, then how many times do we say, if they only, what would happen if they only had 3 more laps? And now we're going to cut 15 of those?
Yeah.
So we're cutting into tire wear, tire drama.
Yeah.
You know, because you have what was the race earlier this year that Piastri had his hards on for 44 laps or something like that? Like,
yeah, he did have his hards on for a long time.
Yeah. But like, then we're gonna lose stuff like that. Seeing someone drag their tires that shouldn't be there. Like, that's another level of talent with driving as well, right? We even saw this race, Max's tires were blistered to the point that it was kind of like this
that
tire could literally
he went to go pick up as much marbles as he could around the track because he knew he would have been underweight.
Yeah. And like, these tires could pop at any minute just because of how worn they are.
And why are we catering to young people who have this manufactured ADHD because they can't look at screens or anything but their phones for too long, or they have to get up and walk around? How about just enjoyment?
Yeah.
If they don't enjoy it the way
This is what it is.
they are not fans.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy your merch.
Yeah.
They're watching somewhere else. They're watching on a stream that's probably taken illegally. You know, they're not they're watching Drive to Survive and getting their season recap. And that's it.
Yeah. And we like, okay, we all complain, but we love it at the same time when you're watching basketball or football. The last 2 minutes is actually 20 minutes.
Hate it. That is
I hate it. It is the worst.
There are so many.
But sometimes
this
it's
is
like,
why hockey's the best game, because you watch basketball. The last 2 minutes takes 35 minutes because there's 1,000 timeouts and nothing gets done. Baseball, when you get into the ninth inning and you're a run or two down, and now you're switching a pitcher for every single batter that comes up here and waiting for warm-ups. You know, you get to football, same thing. Timeout after timeout after timeout after timeout, and even that's still kind of quick. This is usually action. Now, I'm not gonna deny that. Yes, there are some races, especially the ones where there are so many blowouts, where there's not a lot going on when you get to lap 65.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's a symptom of the track. It's not a symptom of the race itself.
But like with those sports, nobody's stopping watching.
No,
everybody's continuing.
They're on for the drama. They're on for the drama.
We're not waiting and, you know, voting, having fans vote. Oh, like, what do you feel about this? Would you like it to be shorter? Yeah, we would all like it to not take 35 minutes after there's supposed to be 2 minutes left.
Why do you think everybody loves a late safety car? Because it's a drama. We're bringing everybody back together. Now, hopefully it doesn't take somebody out, but we have a safety car. We have some cleanup or whatever. Hopefully everybody's able to get going again. But it's some late drama. We're bringing everybody back together. It is amazing. It is racing. So if you can fix the track where you're going to not have 25-second gaps, or you fix your engineering regulations where you can bring cars closer together, or cost caps like they've done, you know, maybe that brings people closer together.
Yeah.
That's what you have to look at.
Remove blue flags.
Yeah. It's
Make the tracks faster. Remove blue flag. We've just solved it. We got to call Stefano.
An hour and a half. It's an hour and a half on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Which, I know we're here in Canada. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing nothing at 7 a.m. but having a coffee and, well, usually. Doing nothing but having a coffee and sit in front of the TV and yell at my kids to shut up so I can listen to the team radios. But so.
Anyways,
it'll
be interesting. And that we heard was these are what the things he's talking about. We didn't hear what his plan was, how he was going to do these.
Yeah, these are avenues they're looking at to make the weekend more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the weekend's interesting. So. Yeah. But anyways, so we ranted for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
See?
Fucking clear.
But But that's all we have for
That's it.
Monza.
We did not do the intro. We ranted. So go on YouTube. Go on
We did it.
Spotify. Did we?
Yeah, we did it.
I don't remember it at all. Why
We did,
did we
but you
rant
can
and
do
I
it again.
forgot? No, that's
Yeah,
fine. We
we
did
can
it.
do
We
it
did it.
again.
No, it's fine. Like, subscribe, share, go on all your platforms at Fresh Set Podcast. Fresh Set Podcast.
And we'll
Comment,
see you guys next time.
comment with whatever you hate about McLaren.
Yeah. Gosh. And we will see you guys next time.
Yep. Grab a fresh set.
Bye.